Yeah. No, I'm a feminist. I'm just pro, like, uncomfortably jerking off in front of people.
Fair.
That's all.
Fair.
All right.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast with ironic distance hooked directly into its veins while freebasing pure, dewy-eyed sincerity. It is 12:05 p.m. Korea Standard Time, Saturday afternoon here on December 23rd, getting close to the big day, year of our Lord 2023. The vocal puzzle piece you're hearing now is the asymmetrically, jaggedly, Joss-shaped one. Rummage round here in this box a little more. Q, that's what she said, sort of remark. Rummage around the box.
I don't know. I was muted, but also I was disappearing.
I wanted to preempt.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And you'll find the Tim-shaped piece for your God-shaped hole, ready to be snapped into place. Your place being Hollyweird, California's gold.
That's
Tim,
amazing.
I assume you live right behind the oversized letters of the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Like everyone else in
inside,
LA, right?
Inside them, actually. There's a housing complex. A lot of people don't know that.
Cool.
Those letters are actually row homes for all the biggest celebrities in Hollywood. Get to live
Since
there.
this is absolutely true, I have to wonder which letter is like more prized real estate. Which one would be
the second
more?
L. The second
Second
L.
L's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
I was looking up, I think last week, for whatever reason, I was looking up all the different stupid nicknames for LA or Hollywood, and I got onto the Wikipedia for the Hollywood sign. And each letter is owned by a different celebrity. I think Alice Cooper owns one of them. That's all I remember. It's my tidbit.
Absolutely hate to find that out. That fucking sucks. That sucks so fucking bad. I hate it. I really do.
I like telling you bad news about your place of residence.
Fucking bullshit, man. Where I grew up in Palm Springs, right? It's known for a lot of golf courses and shit. And Alice Cooper is a bitch ass known golf nerd.
Oh, right. He is really into golf, yeah.
So you would see his ass all around town all the fucking time. Constantly Alice Cooper out and about in his golf getup. I remember running into him at an AM PM a couple times. And the great thing is that normal fucking people my age and a little bit older, that just work at like the AM PM, like some Latino dude in his 20s, like in the early 2000s, has no fucking clue who Alice Cooper is. Especially when he's in there dressed just like a golf dork. So like it legitimately is just like Alice Cooper.
I mean, you and I should barely know who Alice Cooper is, really, when you think about it.
Yeah,
I think we just kind of slide under that.
Right. I only know about it
marker.
because of my dad, basically, you know.
I only know about it because I used to watch VH1 compulsively, I guess.
That's fair. But yeah, I used to see that dork. So the fact that it had to be him made it even worse. It's already bad. The idea that celebrities own.
I believe if I'm recalling this Wikipedia article accurately at all, he was one of the big guys to like spearhead the campaign to like save or restore the sign or something.
I'm sure he was.
Because there was a point where like people who lived near that in that area hated it. Probably still do.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it's pretty iconic now, I guess, whatever. But like when it wasn't that iconic, people like there were like petitions and shit to like get rid of the Hollywood land. I kind of wish it still said land. I don't know why.
Yeah, that might make it a little bit cooler, I guess. Jesus.
Go ahead. No, this is you're
Stupid.
right. We gotta get on track here.
Yeah, let's do it. Anyways,
we've got a long list of things. Of course, we're not going to get to all of them, but formality's sake, how goes the act of living? What are you showing me here?
Because we're talking about the vape shit before, and then I was like looking at my drawer, and look at how many of these fucking vape battery chargers. I've got like 5 of them. I don't know. They're just like
are those THC things, or
they're to charge the like vape battery. Like, yeah. I've got so many of these fucking charger things, and I know that like some of them don't work good and stuff. Like these things they need to regulate this stuff, man. Like. The government should be supplying your THC vape battery. You shouldn't just buy it.
So spoiled.
Shouldn't just because they're like so dog shit. Like some of them are bad and some of them are good. You know what I mean? Like there's no standard. There should be a.
No, I'm just jealous because it's like.
Oh yeah, you can't do anything.
I can't. It's like if you can even like through like you have to like basically go on like a mission like you're trying to like make a snuff film or something, like something highly illegal if you were to try to find just like bad quality marijuana in this country. And it would be highly risky and it would be insanely expensive because I've had the prices quoted to me before a few times in the years I've been here, and it was like it was wild. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was like $2,000 for like an eighth of an ounce. It was like something insane like that. But anyway, I'm sick of the no drug having, no fun having fucking nature of this place.
Nice.
And it's just full of alcoholics, which like makes like the irony of all of it even worse. Like this is like the most drunk society in human history, Korea. I can buy any kind of alcohol any time of day, anywhere in this country, basically. But
nice.
You can be thrown in jail if you are, say, a K-pop star and you go to, say, Canada where it's legal and you partake and then you come back to Korea and they'll like test your hair follicles and be like, you've been doing the devil's lettuce. You go to jail now, even though you're rich.
That's pretty good.
There are K-pop stars who have gone to prison for smoking a little pot on tour abroad, not even in Korea. It's fucking wild.
That's good. That's good, and we all like that.
Anyway, I've got drugs on the mind.
You get the same. We did the same thing in America here in Texas, but it's for abortion. If you leave Texas and get an abortion somewhere where it's legal and you come back to Texas, you can go to jail. So
the comparison is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Getting high in Canada or getting an abortion in Milwaukee or whatever.
All right. Well, I guess you did send me this article here.
Oh yeah, if we're talking about the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, the devil's lettuce. It looked like, so when I saw the headline, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like actually, break down the old ego and applaud Biden for something because
he's gone left. He went left on his own.
Hard left. The hard
boy
left
done did
loves
it.
Biden. That was an actual headline that has been read on this podcast in the past. I'm remembering now. The hard left loves Biden.
It's true. He's the most progressive president
left.
since FDR. Everyone knows that.
Even more so. Some people say of all time. But
FDR didn't have a black vice president, a black woman vice president.
He also didn't pardon thousands of people convicted of marijuana charges.
That's true.
But so this tweet you sent me about it, some guy named Keith Edwards says, "Holy shit, President Biden just blanket pardoned all federal marijuana possession and marijuana use charges." Scroll down the comments, kind of people pushing back. They're like, oh, all 5 people that have had federal possession charges, because that's not really a very common thing. But I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, so I searched a little bit more. This AP article I have here says that it affects thousands of people at least. So let's say it's not nothing.
Sure.
It feels too little too late, of course, but
it's
not
like
nothing.
The punchline is already set. That's like the problem with Biden. It's like, fuck, man, everything. Like the student loan thing, his crew, his people don't get the optics and don't understand. Once you do the thing, the punchline hits, you set the precedent, and everyone just thinks of you as a loser on this topic. Even if now that you circle back and do something, people are not going to remember that you went back and fixed it. Because, like I said, the punchline is set. The joke, with the thing where it was the first pardon that he did, ended up being a nothing because the parameters made it so no one actually was granted any leniency or anything from it. Even if now he anything short of just doing full federal legalization or decriminalization, is just not going to, it's not going to stick. No one's going to give him credit for this,
I mean, some losers will, like this Keith guy. Actually, I don't know who this guy
Keith
is.
Raniere? Is that who it is?
Is it Keith Edwards, I think?
Whatever. Close enough. Probably the same guy.
But, total, whatever, hashtag resistance shitlib types, NPR tote bag liberals, they'll genuinely applaud it. But, that only goes so far. But I totally agree with what you're saying. It's, I mean, like I said, too little, too late. Anything short of just full on legalization, especially now that so many states have legalized recreational use and possession. It just looks it looks like a bad, just a lame gesture. But if you scroll down these comments, these are the people who actually like this shit. So somebody put the green laser eyes on Biden, and it looks like he's puffing on not a blunt, a joint. That's what you call those, a joint.
Yeah, a small marijuana cigarette, a small blunt. They call those joints.
There's a word. The European style that I hate, where you mix tobacco.
A spleef?
A spliff, yeah. Spliff. I know these things. I'm cool. But it's him puffing on a spliff, looking based. And then it says, "I've got your back, Jack." Quote, "Dank Brandon." And then there's another, "Let's grow Brandon," with a bunch of pot leaves around. So people are already making the literal dank memes.
Hell yeah.
Here. But anyway, kind of whatever to this. At first I was I thought it was a huge pardon of like I was picturing like the jailhouses like emptying out across the country when I kind of just quickly read the headline, but that's not quite what this is at all. Not even close, actually. There's still people rotting in prison for possession. And you know, whenever like Brandon does go ahead and do shit without anyone's approval or whatever, it's so funny how like the parliamentarian has nothing to say. You know, when we now just unilaterally send weapons to Israel without congressional approval, you know, I guess the parliamentarian approved because she had nothing to say this time. But, you know, would we want like a minimum wage raised to a level that's still not even adequate, 15 an hour? No, parliamentarian steps in, ruins the fun.
To be fair, this is, you know, Biden doing this, and the parliamentarian only really has jurisdiction as saying anything over like bills being passed. And I heard someone.
I'm just saying they blame the parliamentarian for when Biden doesn't do shit.
Sure, but the thing about that too is like, damn, the parliamentarian must have like an iron grip, because I heard someone quote just recently saying that like this is like the least productive Senate Congress that we've had in years, and they've only passed like 23 bills, which is fucking nuts to think about. Like the entire I wasn't sure if it was the whole year or this entire like Senate, like this current Senate that's been going on for 2 years or whatever. But 23 bills, even for a year, is fucking crazy low.
Yeah.
And so the parliamentarian got that shit on lock.
Almost all of them are bad or just big nothing.
Well, you think about it, like the only thing that they passed that's important is like the omnibus budget bill, and then everything else is just like officially, like what was the one that was like the bill that got passed that was like condemning communism or whatever, like there was like that bill. yeah, you know, so okay, cool.
Well, they passed with flying colors the anti-Semitism is, or anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
Yes,
bill.
The important, which is an important bill.
Quickly.
I mean, that's the kind of bill that you gotta. It's important to get that kind of stuff passed. But yeah. So anyways, like that's the parliamentary, whatever. That's not the important thing, I guess. The important thing is, like I said, also the parliamentarian probably doesn't matter anymore because of the fucking right-wing theological freak that's in charge of the Senate now. Mike Jones. Anyways, I got
a good story about him. We could do that next.
Sure. Either way, good job, Biden. We all respect you. Thank you, Comrade Biden, for giving everyone the sweet leaf, that Shiva that we all need. I was gonna say he made it legal. He did not. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do really much. I mean, he did nothing is how I'm gonna keep saying it.
I like that.
But you know, I think last week or recently we talked about how Biden was like disconcerted by seeing like deep fakes of himself. I just imagine him seeing these like dank weed memes of himself and like just like going into a fucking like spiraling out like senility panic attack mode, and that puts a smile on my face. But it probably won't happen. Biden's aides who listen to the show, please print out the dank memes of based Biden and put them all over the Oval Office and freak him out.
What I assume is not that like he has a weird freak out about the dank memes or whatever and questions it. Is like he sees them and everyone's saying, and like he's Jack, that's me, and he starts picturing himself as Huggy Bear. And like from Starsky and Hutch, and he's like got the crazy suits and the hat, and he's like, "Look, I'm cool. I'm Slick Joe. I'm Slick Joe Biden. Look at me, Mac. I'm down with all the Soul Brothers."
I think he's very opposed to drugs, like in a moralistic way. Like I think if there's one thing he's actually not a hypocrite about, it's like him being like a teetotaler. And like he does actually despair about Hunter's deadly crack habits and stuff.
I'll give you that. In that, yeah, but I also think that, yes, I think that the hunter thing probably makes him more, like, amenable to it, more understanding. Like, it humanizes it to him, because obviously he's, like, the crack bill guy, you know what I mean? So, like, before Hunter, he was like, all of those people are bad and have a moral failing and should die. And now he's like, all those people, it's bad what they're doing and it's tough, but now I see how a good boy, a good, sweet boy that everyone loves and thinks is great, could fall into this stuff because it's so overpowering.
A good, sweet boy that could never replace Bo, by the way.
This is true.
Yeah.
Not even with Bo's ex-wife. There's a reason why
I always forget that happened.
There's a reason why they didn't stick together, you know? Because he couldn't replace his brother.
They were just fucking, right? But they were like a couple.
Yes.
Like they didn't.
There was like
they
leaks.
didn't like get married to each other.
But there was leaks of texts of him being like really like, oh, we're in love and this is great, and, because he's Hunter Biden.
Wasn't that? Didn't they get matching Hebrew tattoos?
Yes, I think
it just said shalom. I think
that might have been Weed Slut 420 because I know that she's Jewish, which is also very funny that.
What the fuck is Weed Slut 420?
Okay, I can't believe you don't know this. I
might, but.
One of the Hunter laptop / leak things was like that it definitely like connected him to like micro social media influencer Weed Slut 420, known on like Instagram, and former guest of the Red Scare podcast. At one point was hooking up with Hunter Biden. But this was like a long, and then she's like disappeared. You can like barely find her on the internet now. But yeah, they were together, and she's Jewish, so I would assume that maybe that's the one he got the matching tattoos with.
Is her real name Melissa Cohen?
That's very possible, but I'm not sure.
Because that's who I'm looking at right here, and they do have matching Hebrew tattoos that say Shalom.
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just trying to dispel what I was kind of implying, which was that this was his dead brother's widowed wife.
That is not
who
her.
He did fuck. No, it's not.
Yeah.
They're not the same person.
No.
But I think it was like, well, anyway, whatever. We also, we have a Hunter Biden story on this list.
All of our stories connect. We just have to like do them,
All right, so should we do this grab bag style thing that I kind of slightly proposed before?
I like it.
So I'll just say for the listeners' sake, I have three broad femme categories here. Miscellaneous, which is very broad. Geopolitics, which is mostly stuff that will piss us off about Israel, and U.S. politics, which is mostly stuff about America Fest and a bunch of other dumb shit, including Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, second in line to the presidency. Should we just roll into this one since we did bring up Mike Johnson?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's also pretty.
That's probably better
short,
than a lot of the other ones. Yeah.
Remember purity balls, folks? Well,
I actually was hearing about this earlier. Please continue.
I thought that I just maybe sort of just assumed, maybe, I don't know, I just hadn't heard about them for a while, since like probably the early the aughts, somewhere in there. But they have continued to this day, which I guess is not shocking, because weird Christian's gonna weird Christian. But, of course, weird Christian-in-chief Speaker Mike Johnson and his daughter were profiled attending, quote, Purity Ball in 2015 as part of a German TV news segment. I like imagining, like, foreigners, like, getting a look at this weird shit, and, like, it just looks even weirder to them, And, I mean, it looks fucking weird to me, but, like, I don't know. Imagining like a more like sort of atheistic culture, just like kind of filming these people as if they're like it's like a nature documentary. Like, oh, here are the strange Christian fathers and daughters who basically pretend that they're married to each other. Which I guess for any listeners that don't know, why don't you explain what is a purity ball, Tim?
Oh,
These are actually big in previously mentioned state, Colorado. I remember.
So a
hearing
purity,
they're quite big there.
a purity ball is basically when a guy who either like never had sex in before he like hit the age of 35, or got cucked in high school, or maybe like in his 20s, by like a much cooler dude, the captain of the football team type guy, is scared of all of the terrible things that he made up in his head about young girls doing in their teens and 20s, now coming home to roost. There is, okay, it is very easy to say that like it's primarily those kind of dork guys, but there is also the other side of the guy, which is the debauched guy.
I think the captain of the football team guy also becomes these guys too.
The Hunter Biden guy, the guy who was Hunter Biden, becomes this guy when he has the realization that for some reason doesn't strike these guys when they like fall in love with a woman. I'll do the air quotes. Fall in love with a woman and marry her. They don't like have this thing where they start to see women as like humans, a fully fledged person. So like, but it does hit them when that guy has a daughter, and then now I think I described it on a recent podcast with you when I was talking about like was it the Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse thing? Like the easiest explanation is you just date a girl version of you.
We were talking about Millet and his sister wife, who I was actually thinking of as someone who could go to a purity ball. With his
100%. But what happens is like now that you see what is like you but a girl, which is your daughter, you're like, that's me but a girl, so that's a person, and she could do.
She's a girl because she's got a bow in her hair. Sorry, I have to say that.
And then what they do is they're like, holy shit, I don't want her doing any of the stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, or doing any of the stuff that I did to other girls when I was a kid. So now we're going to go and there's two different versions of this, and if really you can pick which one you think is worse. There is the girl commits herself to being married to like God or Jesus until she like is married for real, or this is probably the creepier one. They like commit in a weird way where it's almost as if they're married to their father until
they literally exchange with
purity rings. Yeah, like I said, there's like a promise ring version of it where it's like you're making a promise to God or whatever, but yeah.
It's so close to almost literally fingering your daughter because the purity ring represents like the hymen, and you're like literally poking your finger through the representational hymen.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what these purity balls are.
Pretty gross.
It's like mass weddings like they do in those crazy like what's the Fallen Gong or whatever. You know what I mean? Like where they get a ton of like people together and they do like, but they do it with dudes and their daughters, and it's fucked up, man.
And they try to make it seem like kind of like an innocent thing where it's like, this isn't creepy. This is cool. Like, it's like a fun, because like, I do remember like, I think it's kind of common for like public schools to have like daddy-daughter dances.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing, right? Were there son-mother dances?
No, I don't think so. Because women tend to be like cool and understand, that men are people earlier on, so they don't like have like this big thing that hits them when they have a son.
I think it's more just like people think more of like the Oedipal complex than the Electra complex. Sure. It's just more popular. But anyway, yeah, I do remember something called a daddy-daughter dance, and but these purity balls are just like the extreme, evangelical Christianized version of it, and it's literally pledging your hymen to your father. I mean, if you really break it down. Oh my God! I just had like a fucking memory come fucking crashing into my brain. I I don't know. I don't know how much I've brought it up since you've been part of the show, but it's it's come up that I grew up in an evangelical household. My father is a preacher man. I just remembered something really embarrassing that goes totally in line with this, which is that I was taken on a road trip with my dad when I was like, I don't know, becoming like a teenager. I must have been like 12 or 13. And we listened to these weird cassette tapes on the drive to wherever we were going. And they were all about like premarital sex and the evils of said premarital sex. And like basically my father pressured me into pledging like sexual purity the same way that these people do. But instead of making me wear a faggy ring, I think he bought me a watch, and it was like a purity watch.
Hell yeah.
Which I had already thoroughly rejected like the theology of my father by this point in my life. Like at a very young age, I was like, this is all bullshit and I hate it. I really hate it. It was a central struggle in my life growing up, was dealing with the fact that my parents are like true believers, true believers. To the point where my dad bought me a purity watch, and like I broke that pledge as fast as I could. Yeah. Anyway, well, this article about Mike Johnson and this German production, there's like a screen grab from it, and it's his wife Kelly Johnson, and just underneath her name it just says Mutter von Hannah.
Ooh,
which I don't know why it makes.
I don't like that
because it's German. It's a different language. She's the mother of Hannah. Hannah is the girl who pledged her hymen to Mike Johnson. Yeah. So anyway, Mike Johnson continues to be unsurprisingly weird evangelical freak.
Yes, I was going to say that I think that this relates in a weird way, in a, I guess, a pretty just straightforward to understand, easy to follow way, is that people were all up in arms and upset about the Pope saying that he's willing to say that, like, priests are allowed to bless gay marriages or gay relationships now. Not necessarily even saying that they're allowed to be married, but just that Catholic priests can say that they bless, like, a homosexual couple. But meanwhile, like, dudes doing this weird pseudo-marriage to their daughter is, like, fair game. No one cares. Everyone totally gets that and thinks it's cool. But, like, yeah, just saying, the Pope saying that Catholic priests, people were really fucking pissed. That was the thing that crossed my mind.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think he's the Antichrist or something, especially non-Catholics who view Catholics as not real Christians or whatever. So funny. That always struck me as so funny, because like my parents are those type of people too, where they're just like, it's like they started it. Like you wouldn't have your thing without Catholicism. But anyway, they all can fuck off.
Please.
That's right. I'm going new atheist on all your asses right about now.
This is the Dawkins Report.
Okay, I'm gonna try to stay on task. There's so many divergent points I want to make, but let's stick to at least one more of these many articles that we have. Why don't you pick something out? What looks good to you? So the one we just did was from U.S. politics. So maybe we should go into either geopolitics or miscellaneous. Okay. Miscellaneous has got a lot of fun, weird shit.
Miscellaneous stuff. Well, much like Mr. Worldwide Pitbull, I don't call him politics. I call him politricks. So I'm done with all that. Let's go with
I say they're more like the Washington clowns in Congress.
You know what? Let's hit candidate spotlight continued. Let's bring this back. Barack Obama Mandela. Let's hit the local hero.
I forgot that I wrote candidate spotlight continued.
Yeah. Let's continue talking. Hey, the race is heating up. I know I said that I was going to get out of politics, but let's
Also, we got to settle this because we didn't settle it on our little text thread. Why can't you vote?
Oh,
for
I was
this
joking
guy?
that
You should be
I'm
able
a
to.
felon. I'm not allowed to vote because I'm a convicted felon.
See, I thought that's what you're. I thought you were actually going to seriously tell me about a felony.
No,
but
no.
Okay. But no, you.
My record
you
is
can.
expunged.
It's a
I'm clean.
Senate seat.
I've been arrested and spent time in like jail, not prison, and but it's all expunged and my record's clean. I can vote, so I'm going to vote for Barack
But not
Obama.
for
Mandela.
Not for. Barack Obama, Mandela,
And I'm going to tell all of the people
forgot.
at the LADSA, and maybe we can get an official DSA endorsement of Barack Obama Mandela, because he's got a lot of good things to say. And he's an Afro-Jewish relations attorney.
That's right. That's the fun. That's the one of the beautiful things about Barack Obama Mandela is that any fucking libtarded folks who want to push back on our support for this guy, they got to reckon with the fact that he's, I'm just going to say biracial. That makes it even more. I mean, I don't know if that's true. He's a proud black man, served in the U.S. military and the Israeli military. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And he's a Jew. He's converted
Yes.
to
He's
Judaism.
a triple threat. He's black.
Yeah.
He's Jewish, and he's Barack Obama. That's a triple threat.
He's part of the literati. He's a fucking author.
Have you seen
who's
his
written
Goodreads?
Many books.
His Goodreads.
I'm looking at it right
is
now.
out of control.
Let's go through. So the one that's ranked at the top. Now we talked about his one book last time, the Kobe LeBron Goebbels,
yes.
Black Hitler, Kobe LeBron Goebbels Conquers America, which if you actually look at that book, if you look at the sort of fine print at the bottom of the front cover, it says that it's a collection of like 6 different books.
Okay.
That he's
That's
put all
what
together.
we call an anthology in the biz. We call that an anthology.
He also is referring to this like Fourth Reich, like it's like a series, the Rise of Kobe LeBron Goebbels.
Yes.
It's all very confusing. But some of the funny things we left out are that he wrote the Black Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or the BDSM-1 CV.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's like that classic technical text that all psychiatrists rely on, except for black folk, apparently.
But it also makes it BDSM, like kink, like doing.
Yeah, the BDSM
That's
thing. It tickled me pretty
I like
good.
that he kind of was trying to cash in on the name, and he did. One of his books is The Audacity of America, an insider perspective on the rise of President Barack Obama. And then it's like, and it's by Barack Obama. How did I not know about that? He wrote another book about this. Has got to be the real. I mean, he's an inside perspective, of course. You don't get much more inside.
I was gonna say it's probably pretty obvious that it's probably anti-Obama, but one of the things on his Ballotopedia is that he ran for president as a Democrat in 2016, I think. So he's just kind of like switched over because he's running he's a Republican.
Well, I know we talked about this last time. He got off the plantation. The Democrat plantation.
Right. Speaking of like just trying to cash in on like popular phrases, he has another book called Black Lives Matter: Jewish Path to Black Liberation.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, most of these books, even on Goodreads, don't have a single review.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
It's only his top one, Black and Bulletproof.
I like that.
An African American warrior in the Israeli army. That has average 4 stars rating with 9 ratings.
Do you see his website link here? His website link is just www.huffingtonpost.
Huffington Post.
But it's not even www. It's just www. So it doesn't even work.
Oh, you're right.
It's a broken link to the Huffington Post. Yeah.
That's good. That's real good.
I love this guy. He's one of the best. He's one of the best to ever do it.
His bio, his pictureless bio on Goodreads. See, what gets confusing is that he had published things under his slave name.
Yes. Well, okay, we can't blame him for that.
Mark Charles Hardy. So like, there's just a lot of like, he's just kind of like, his bibliography is kind of all over the place.
True.
It kind of like agitates my OCD. Like I want him to be all like succinctly like labeled on like a nice website. But maybe I'll DM him to offer my services.
That's a good idea.
Now, probably the most confounding book that he's published, in my opinion, is Kurt Cobain, a visual album, which, if you go to the Amazon page for that book, you can see some of it like as a preview. And God damn it, why do I have to sign in to see this? Kurt Cobain, visual album, show me. Well, anyway, I actually just remember what it said on it, basically. All right, here we go. I got it. The cover of it is a guy sitting on a suitcase, kind of a flannel shirt, kind of dirty blonde hair. Definitely not really Kurt Cobain. With his like head in his hands, looking distraught. And his name is listed as Barack O. Mandela, Esquire on this book. And if you look at the back cover, it says Kurt Cobain, February 20, 1967 to April 5th, 1994, who was an American musician, singer, and songwriter, was guitarist and frontman for the alternative rock band Nirvana. This visual album, titled Kurt Cobain, is a collection of song lyrics inspired by Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. This book is dedicated to both Frances Bean Cobain and Courtney Love. This guy's
okay.
He has, and there's finally like a good, like moody, like professional photo of him on the back of this as well. And there's just a crying baby as the only image besides his own image on this back cover as well. Barack O. Mandela earned a law degree at the University of California, Hastings College of the Law. He earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree at the University of California, Riverside. He is a licensed attorney. That's his full bio there.
Huh.
There is an ISBN number, so this is like a registered book. It's not just printed out of his garage, I guess, although it is definitely self-published. 108 pages. I don't have much money these days, but if I did, I may have bought like all of his books already by now. At least the Black Hitler one. Because I feel like it is our destiny to read that and dissect it on the air, as it were. But I can't bring myself to pay any money for it at the moment.
What are the purchasing options?
I looked for a bootleg
No, not
version,
even just that. Is it only paper? Is it only hardcover? Is there...
I think there's actually, no, you can get Kindle, you can get ebook versions of some of his books, I'm pretty sure. That usually, like, the self-published people on Amazon, that's almost solely what their stuff is.
Yeah, but he's not
cheaper,
most
obviously.
people on Amazon.
That's also true.
He is not.
Barack O. Mandela is not your average independent writer.
Your mama's. God damn it! Why is Goodreads trying to make me sign up for an account on top of?
Because they're owned by Amazon.
Right.
Man.
So why doesn't my Amazon account just work? Why do I have to sign up for a separate account? I'm not doing that. All right. A dream. You know what they say is that a dream deferred is a dream denied, and as of right now, we are denied access to Barack, Mandela, Obama, Hitler the Third. But I think I picked it. I picked a good one.
Yeah, hell yeah. Actually, Black Hitler on Amazon has 1 rating, 5 stars. No review, actual written review. Currently unavailable. We don't know when or if this book, this item will be back in stock. The man
is trying to silence him.
Yeah, I agree. I bet it's Barack Hussein Obamacare himself trying to put the kibosh on this guy. But let's just remind the folks at home that this guy is running for Senate. He wants to take the seat vacated by Dianne Feinstein's walking corpse. But it's a heavily contested race. I found out it's not only Adam Schiff and somebody else. There's a ton of people angling for it. A bunch of people that were already like members of the House in California. So we got to help him more than ever. Is what I'm getting at here. And I'm dead fucking serious. I want this man to embarrass these people and become a real I mean, why the fuck not? Seriously. Like, call me an accelerationist, whatever, fine. I'll take that. I'll own it. I'll own that label if that's what it takes to get the author of Kobe LeBron Goebbels Conquers America into our national political discourse. He also doesn't even seem to have like on Ballotopedia, like I was looking through all the people running, and his sort of like summary of what he promises to do if he's elected is like actually pretty run of the mill. He's like, I'm going to stop crime
Hell
in
yeah.
California.
Yep, love it. I'm into that.
and promote freedoms, some shit like that.
Yes, agreed.
Basically,
I like that.
Like the push the free market into more zones. It's not like Adam Schiff is going to be any better than that. I mean, Adam Schiff is a fucking ghoul, true ghoul. It's been a while since I've called one of these evil people ghouls. I put a moratorium on saying ghoul because it was being used too much on podcasts, but I brought it back just for shifty shit.
Especially because they're releasing a what's that? Fallout show, right? Fallout TV show or something. Am I right about that?
Huh?
Isn't there a Fallout TV show?
I don't know. What's that?
Fallout, the video game. Fallout.
I've heard of a video game called
Fallout.
You
never played that? It feels like something you would know more about than me.
I haven't played I mean, I'm not trying to...
Okay.
I haven't played games for a really long... I think the last time I sat down with a controller in my hand was like GoldenEye.
Okay, I thought that you were a video game guy. Okay, so we're both not.
No.
Right.
You're thinking again of Jason.
No. I'm not thinking. I'm thinking of you. I didn't know Jason was a video game guy. Either way.
I'm not. I want to be clear. I'm not an anti.
Sure.
Because I hate that. I hate that kind of guy too. Like,
fair.
I'm not trying to say proudly like I haven't played games since
I am.
Pierce Brosnan was Bond, but
I've been trying to say
it's
that.
basically true. I play. Last time I played a game was it was one of the newer Mortal Kombats when I was visiting my brother in America, and because I like the tournament fighting games.
Sure.
Those are always my jam as a kid, and I'm somehow really good at them just with the button mashing, and it endlessly entertains me because it pisses off my brother so much. Who's like a huge gamer guy and like has never stopped being one. But like he just can't beat me in the tournament fighting games. It's impossible. Now that's a real brag.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna send you this picture in Discord chat. But I'm like you said, I'm not like an anti-video game guy, but I am very much the like I don't think about you at all.
Just saw the
thing.
picture.
Yes. Like video games don't cross my mind. They're not part of my life in any way. And I just know people who play them and are into them. And I'm at the point where it's like Marvel movies where I just assume that everybody plays video games a bunch. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. And I'm just like, I don't. So that's why I thought that you were into them. Anyways. You want to move over to your favorite topic,
I-
which is that Israel is bad, and we can talk about this picture I sent you.
Yeah. I wanted to make one more point about video games. I forgot. It's almost like I kind of wish that I could be into video games.
Sure.
Like I listen to people talk about them, like on certain podcasts. I'm like, that sounds kind of fun. But I barely have enough time to keep up with like a handful of like TV shows for whatever reason. So I don't know. It would be. Anyway, yeah, I just got this awesome picture sent to me.
Yes.
From the Times of Israel. It says, Israeli, Chilean official drew a penis in my passport.
Yes. And this is, yeah.
Below, there is a picture of said penis with like very spiky ballsack hairs shooting out of it.
It's pretty good. Do you see the Chili Willy? I like that. Chile.
Yeah.
Willy.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Chile Willy.
But I like it. Chile Willy.
The Times of Israel's getting frisky over here. Cheeky. From first moment, guy at the border was hostile.
Yeah.
They then detained us for hour and a half, says Tal Jacobi.
I'm sure this isn't real, but I do like it.
I believe it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
I have to.
Hey,
it has
listen.
to be real.
It is real. Yeah. Anyway.
It's
Top comment, LOL,
Okay.
it's uncircumcised. Which, like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, that feels anti-Semitic to me. I'm feeling in danger.
Well, I mean,
as a Jew
in America, that is legally considered anti-Semitism, so.
saying the word
No,
uncircumcised.
the being anti-Israel. We talked about that earlier.
Right. But promoting non-circumcision
Also.
feels threatening to my people. I don't know why I keep saying I'm Jewish. I'm not.
You are. We've decided you're Jewish. And you're also Barack Obama, and you're also Mandela.
All right. So we have covered
Everything. We hit it all. We hit all the
domestic
topics.
politics.
We got all these. All the articles are done.
miscellaneous. Okay, geopolitics. Georgia middle school teacher accused of threatening to behead student who asked about. I gotta make this bigger.
This is going to be good.
Israeli flag.
Okay. Oh, yes. I heard this story. Yes. I like doing that. I shouldn't do that when you're like, we're talking about it on the thing. I should be like prepared. Like, oh, yeah, I of course I'm prepared. But like you started, I'm like, yeah, I've heard this. I heard of it. I heard someone talking about this story, of course.
It's fine. I like the peek behind the curtain. I often admit when I haven't read articles, which is a lot of the time, so it's all good. But this one I did read, and the title does pretty much well sum it up. I mean, there's not really much to add to it beyond. I mean, there were consequences for this teacher. I could imagine a scenario where the teacher could get away with this. Just like lie about it. I don't know. But there were like 2 students that he was like belligerently like literally threatening to behead someone. When you're trying to like make a point about like how Hamas and the like Islamic civilization is savage and barbaric, and you do that by threatening to behead a child for questioning the fact that you're flying an Israeli flag in your classroom, which, like, freedom of speech, fine, but like you have to know that that's going to be like provocative to someone eventually. The educator told officials that. Oh no, this was another teacher relaying what they heard. They heard the teacher, he shouted that he was going to slit the student's throat, drag her outside, and cut her head off. Cool. Good job.
Yeah.
Teach.
Listen, I mean, you have to assert your dominance as the teacher, you know?
And like these kids weren't even like they weren't like chanting from the river to the sea.
No, they weren't doing anything anti-Semitic like that.
They weren't saying free Palestine. She was just like, it's kind of offensive that you're waving this flag in your classroom.
Yeah. No, they were just like, hey, why do you have that?
Girl and her friend or something.
Why do you have that flag there? Just like real quick, where are you on this? Are you just like I'm dumb and I'm Jewish and I just think like it's cool, or do you actually support them politically?
The person, I'm not even sure if the teacher is Jewish. I don't know that that's mentioned or not. I can't remember, and I also can't.
And you can't assume. It's not like you could see someone and tell if they were Jewish or not. It's not possible.
God, that was another fucking crazy bullshit thing that like Barry Weiss or some stupid fucking idiot got like offended by. Yeah, this one I just
No, what you're thinking of is you're thinking of Chelsea Clinton, and she was reacting to Adam Friedland's tweet, and she said, that's anti-Semitic to say the Jews are ugly.
This is more recent than that, but it's along those lines, except even dumber. It was like
dumber than the daughter of the president tweeting at Adam Friedland. I don't think there's anything dumber than that, but okay.
I'm going to
go off
because it was an art teacher was teaching kids how to draw noses. Period. That's the story. And someone was like, that's anti-Semitic. Just, like, you have to, like, you learn how to draw parts of the fucking body in, like, a drawing class. Like,
well,
just,
we saw that in that Israeli passport.
Like,
when you're drawing anatomy, you can make artistic choices that become anti-Semitic.
Yes. If the story was art teacher says, here's how you draw a Jew nose.
Art teacher says, here is like how you draw an uncircumcised penis or an uncircumcised nose.
Uncircumcised nose. That would be a little more along the lines of, something racial or whatever. What else is there? I mean, this headline has to be read just for posterity's sake because it's such a wild one. And then you can pick the next one after I just basically want to say the headline here. Israel should make Gaza look like Auschwitz Museum, says council head. This is from the Jerusalem Post.
Don't love this.
A extremely right-wing pro-Israeli rag. So this is not like this is some like, they're trying to make the Jews look bad, trying to make Israelis look bad. No, they're just reporting on the facts, ma'am. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? This guy just says, it's one thing, like, people have already said all this, like, horrendous genocidal, obviously genocidal ethnic cleansing type shit, like Nakba 2.0, flatten Gaza, make it uninhabitable, turn it into a tent city.
Human animals.
That's, like, the nice version. Human animals, sub-animals, it's been heightened to that.
Yeah, I love my dog,
Why invoke Auschwitz? Like, it just seems to be not in your interest but I mean, I guess that's what all this crazy fucking propaganda falls under is like, they're not used to being like held to account for the crazy shit they say, but now they are being somewhat, I don't know. Or like people just didn't pay enough attention until recently to these pronouncements, like we should drop a nuke on Gaza. Like, people have been saying that kind of shit for years. It's just like now it's just standing out a little bit more. But yeah, this person literally said they want the place to look like the way Auschwitz looks now, and to also, what did they say? They said, Oh, and the ethnic cleansing part comes in here. He says, tell everyone in Gaza to go to the beaches. Navy ships should load up the terrorists onto the shores of Lebanon. The entire Gaza Strip should be emptied and leveled flat, just like Auschwitz. Let it become a museum, showcasing, this is the part, showcasing the capabilities of the state of Israel. Do you think that's what Auschwitz is doing? It's showcasing the abilities of the Nazis? I thought it was more of a sad memorial and like a, never again type thing. But here he's like, let's make our own Auschwitz where we show how strong Israel is by how flat and empty everything is. Anyway, dissuading anyone from living in the Gaza Strip. This is what must be done to give them a visual representation. No holds barred. People just coming out, saying the things loudly. And there's like so much more of that. We don't have to do all of these. We can save the morsels for another day as well.
Let's hit a couple more. Let's hit some more just terribly, offensive and disgusting dead murder topics going on in
Israeli journalist Shimon Riklin shows his true colors live on air. Quote, I am for war crimes. I don't care if I'm criticized.
Yes.
I'm unable to sleep without watching homes in Gaza being destroyed. It's his sleep aid. Mm-hmm. More houses, more buildings. I don't want them to have anything to go back to. This is on national mainstream television in Israel. These are not just like lunatic fringe type people. I mean, a lot of the times they're literally like the president and the prime minister saying this kind of shit. But anyway, we've talked about that in the past. I found this interesting guy giving like a kind of like an academic talk about I mean, I summed it up here as rabbis who think Hitler was pretty awesome, actually. But this guy goes into detail about the military school that everyone who is forced to join the military has to attend. Like the current top rabbis who teach there have just the most insane views on all this kind of stuff, racial, eugenic type shit, and like Hitler actually wasn't so bad, type stuff. Which I think we talked about in the last episode, how Netanyahu himself was just publicly giving this speech about how Hitler didn't actually want to fuck up the Jews, but some Muslim guy basically whispered in his ear and told him to kill all the Jews. So that's why it happened. Anyway, why don't we pick something else? Why don't you pick something else?
Well, I did see my boy getting referenced here, and I also saw one of my favorites of all time, Michelle Bachmann.
Yeah, I just assumed she was dead. I think it was wishful thinking.
Sure. And this is good because I did watch this video before, but this is a good one. Former U.S. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann calls for ethnic cleansing in Gaza. Yeah, this is this would be my choice. What do you got?
She says, I don't think we need to actually play the clip. She's quoted as saying, "It's time that Gaza ends." So basically, this is just more of what we were just talking about, except it's this fucking stupid ass politician who's totally irrelevant. She says the 2 million people who live there, they are clever assassins. They need to be removed from that land. That land needs to be turned into a national park. So, she's not saying it needs to be turned into Auschwitz, at least. She's compassionate that way. This is her on the Charlie Kirk show, by the way, which does lead us into the other sort of stupid conservative news of the moment, which was the TP Toilet Paper USA.
TP USA? Yeah.
America Fest, which I must have just blocked out the fact that it's called that because it seemed like a new fact entering my mind that they have an annual thing called America Fest. It makes me think of something else funny and I can't pinpoint what it is. Oh, it's a Simpsons.
American
It's a
Dream.
Simpsons thing. It's when
Oh yes.
Marge is making like this food out of dog food. It's like formed into a ball with a little toothpick American flag put into it. Homer comes in the kitchen, like starts eating them, like little flags and all, and he goes, "Ooh, a fresh batch of America balls." That's what it makes me think of. America Fest 2023.
Perfect. Yes.
So, like, RollingStone.com, their whole angle on Turning Point USA, I was trying to find, like, you know, something critical of it, but even their thing was just fucking kind of stupid. They said it's infested with anti-Semitism. Their examples were not very compelling. I don't know. They mentioned, like, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene's like Jewish laser thing, but that was like a long time ago. She said that. I mean, it's stupid, and it is
right, and that was before she was in the Senate.
It's stupid, and it is anti-Semitic, but like, it's like that's what you got. That's what you took away from this fucking America Fest, is that some of these people are like insensitive towards Judaism, while like every single one of them is like 1,000% behind Israel and everything it's doing at the moment. It just seemed like totally like obscuring that point to me. Fuck you, Rolling Stone. Right. But I don't know, just what happened at the fucking America Fest? Just kind of typical bullshit. So like, okay, so Rolling Stone's focus on that was infested with anti-Semitism. You go to the Trotskyist website, World Socialist website, their angle on it, I agree with more. It says America Fest 2023, Republicans embrace genocide in Gaza, fascism in America. Way more fucking effective journalism than they're being mean to Jews, sort of. Like, let's forget about the fact that they're all like AIPAC fucking slaves who like who would love nothing more than to see Gaza flattened and et cetera, et cetera. But yeah. The fucking QAnon shaman was there. That was kind of a thing.
Nice.
There's a picture of him with MTG in this WSWS article. His name, Jacob Chansley. Such a fucking like waspy name.
Yes.
He's got to be from like
well, of course.
I think he's from Connecticut, or I'm just imagining that. But it would make so much sense if he was. Remember his thing when he went to jail and he was like bitching about how he couldn't get like organic vegan food in jail?
Yeah. Yes. And of course he was.
The guy sucks. I saw him like
it takes all
I
kinds.
saw him doing some sort of like podcast or something. I forget what it was exactly, but like him like trying to sound smart was really funny, just watching him struggle and then like go off on these insane sort of Alex Jonesian tangents about like metaphysics and shit. And I forget who the guy was interviewing him, but the guy was like clearly not like into that same kind of shit and just basically wanted the guy to be like, Trump is cool, Jan 6 was based, you know, but like instead of that, he got this like philosophical, meandering, fucking like dumb smart guy type rant from the Q shaman.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's just as good as a lot of the mainstream, you know, take Smiths that we have out there, like Seth Rogen level, or is that the right one? Joe Rogan.
Seth Rogen too, probably. In a different direction, I imagine. I imagine he's quite the centrist lib, but who knows? Roseanne Barr was at America Fest, and she had like an unhinged rant that like didn't even go over well with the TPUSA people, apparently. They described it as like her screaming to like just dead silence after she and then later she tried to like kind of like justify how stupid she sounded by being like, I can't believe I accidentally deleted my speech that I wrote right before I went on. It's like, I just had to wing it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, she yelled about horrible communists and Nazi fascists in the same breath. That's a classic. That's like a ticket off the fucking bingo card thing. Like, they're a bunch of commie Nazis.
I think we were talking about common Nazis recently.
Again, Simpsons reference in my mind is the first thing I think of. Mick Bain snapping the neck of a commie Nazi, literal commie Nazi. In the Simpsons artwork, they melded together a swastika and a hammer and sickle. Here's what stupid Roseanne had to say, because I mean, who gives a shit? But she said, "If we don't stop these horrible communists, do you hear me?" Barr shouted, which appeared to garner a few responses from the crowd. "I'm asking you to hear me. Stalinists, communists, with a huge helping of Nazi fascists thrown in. Plus one caliphate," Barr said, "to replace every Christian democracy on earth now.
Hell yeah.
Occupy." The crowd was silent. Like, her just yelling out "Occupy" is really weird and funny.
Pretty good. End. Yeah.
They like, the article seems confused where they're like, is she referencing like the Occupy movement of 2011? Like, what the fuck is she talking about? But then Roseanne, this is what she said. She said, "I can't believe I accidentally deleted my speech when making my last edit just before walking out. Could anything sound like a bigger lie than that?"
Right.
"My dog ate my homework" is more plausible, you know. I had to wing it last night. It was so scary, but I'm glad you guys liked it. Did they like it? I don't know.
They probably loved it.
Yeah. I do like the idea that she screamed a bunch of incoherent shit about commie Nazis and Occupy, and then it was just like crickets, though. I do like that.
Sure, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
They were going nuts. They loved it.
What else happened at the MAGA event? Black, gay Republican heckled with slurs at, I think this was also at America Fest. Yeah, it was.
Wonderful.
Not much more to say about that, other than, of course, is this guy shot?
Sure, that's what we all been looking for.
Well, then there were all these fucking dickhead conservative, like Charlie Kirk, type figures who were like, "That's so horrible. Like, we're not the woke people, but like we." Like, they're trying to like basically like flip the script. Like, we're actually the ones who defend gays and racial minorities now because the left is too woke.
They're scared of gays. The left is so woke that they're scared of gays and minorities. I've been saying it. You've been here listening to me say it on this podcast, on this very podcast.
The Michelle Bachmann thing reminded me of how funny her 1,000,000,000% gay husband was back in the day. Sure. Marcus Bachmann. Yeah. It was his whole thing.
They call him the George Santos of the right.
Wait, didn't I write something like that?
You did.
I don't see it, though. Anyway. Oh, the OG Santos. That's okay. Yeah, I think his thing was like his favorite part about his wife running for... Was she running for president? Yeah. She
did run, yeah.
His favorite part about it was getting to pick out her outfits. I remember that being a headline. What else looks good? You sent me this Instagram picture or whatever this is.
Hold on. The Bachmann thing, I did find that very interesting. The part of she's saying that like all of Gaza should be turned into a national park.
That sounds like some socialist shit.
I loved that she kept repeating that because it is very much the like, you're nowhere near the fucking pin on this. You don't have any concept of what you're talking about. You're just like so off base, like from where you should be in the conversation. Cause like they're actively trying to resettle and take over the housing there. Like Israel does not look at Gaza as like free land, extra space that they could turn into a park. They want to live on that land. They want to have it
already real estate
for people to live on.
Developers, moving in.
The idea that she's like so out of it that she's like, oh, the real problem is that, just like the stupidest people on the planet. They're just like, they have to be taught to like heal. Like the idea that the people think the idea here is that Palestinians in Gaza are the aggressors and they're just so bad that Israel has to deal with them. And then once they deal with the problem, then they'll just, now what do we do with this land? Let's turn it into a park. Not seeing that what's really going on here is that these people are just trying to live here, and Israel has actively been trying to encroach and take this land to live on and have, not to just turn it into a fucking park. Like, they have designs to do something with this. And again, it's just like, you talk about that she's a relic and no one's thought of her for however many years and all this. Like, she's just so off base, even on this. Like, you can't show up, no one knows who the fuck you are, you're out of your fucking mind on whatever fucking the Quaaludes that you still have from the 1960s, and then you're like just completely off base on politics. Like, like, you can't have none of it. You know what I mean? You gotta have at least one piece of the fucking pie. She's absolutely just out to lunch and doesn't hit any quadrant of being correct.
Yeah, she's a fucking idiot. And she's a beard. She's a beard. I should have said that from the beginning. Former congressperson, current beard, Michelle Bachmann. Yeah, I mean, speaking of like wanting to take over like the beachfront property of Gaza, you sent me this pretty good picture of this fucking thought like standing on the beach. It's so gross. It's so gross how Israel. I know like other regimes or whatever like do similar things. They do like thirst traps or whatever to like get like information out of people and shit like that. But like the way they like try to like promote the IDF by these like heavily made up women that they force to be in, like just to like strap a gun to themselves and walk around. Like, I don't know, the whole thing grosses me out. But so that's what this is. And
yes, but look at that picture and tell me that you don't want to see her recreate it in a bikini. Come on.
I mean, she's attractive. She's got too much makeup, if you ask me.
I can't even say that she's attractive. You can't tell anything from this. I mean,
picture. I'm making
really
it
cannot.
Bigger so I can see. I mean, whatever. She looks.
Is that? Wait, hold on.
Like a real
hold on.
doll.
Zoom in. Enhance. Zoom in. Enhance. Is that where she's been? Is that Weed Slut 420? Is she now part of the IDF? Did she go from Hunter Biden to IDF?
Gotta check her arm for the Shalom tattoo.
That's it.
Yeah, she wrote on this like fucking Instagram story or whatever this is. I'll have to recreate this photo in a bikini once it's all over. Their shore is so beautiful. They don't even deserve it. FR. Watery eye emoji for real. Yeah, she's standing on the beach in Gaza that's been conquered, and she's like, these savages don't even know what they got. I need to get my bikini on. And that's gross. And it ties in with some more horrible news. IDF blows up 56 houses simultaneously, an entire neighborhood all at once. Like, they didn't shell it. They didn't hit it with tanks. They like wired it to explode.
Oh no.
And filmed themselves doing it and celebrating it. And I've seen the video many more times than I care to admit in the last couple days. And another article about the same incident says Israeli soldiers filmed themselves blowing up entire Gaza neighborhood to create, quote, ocean view for kibbutz attacked by Hamas. So it's retribution, and to just, so people can see the ocean from the kibbutzim. The kibbutz, by the way, which was like largely destroyed by the IDF. This is like becoming clearer and clearer by the day. Like there's like new footage coming out every day. Israel's own footage, Israel's own soldiers testifying to the fact that they were shelling the buildings fucking hellfire missiles were raining down on the fucking music festival. Anyway, of course, I still condemn Hamas and the bad shit that they did, but like it's like every day the fucking death toll that they can attribute to Hamas of civilians at the very least. The Israeli government itself like can't even deny it anymore. They're like, yeah, actually, we killed more of our own people than they did.
Yeah, it rocks.
But like, even though these articles are out there, you don't like from Israeli sources, the U.S. news doesn't touch this shit. Of course, it disrupts the narrative, right? So, maybe we should move into miscellaneous territory. What looks good to you?
I like the sound of that.
There's a bunch of shit about. I got a bunch of shit about Gen Z for some reason.
No, not interested.
I'm also
stuff.
kind of not interested either. So yeah. Oh wait, we got to talk about the Nirvana thing. I mean, this is a quick one.
Yes, let's hit that.
Appeals court revives child pornography lawsuit over Nirvana's Nevermind cover. This shit's.
I hope that kid gets fucking something, man. Like that kid, he's lived a tough life and he deserves something. Anyways,
I was gonna say the absolute opposite. I hope he gets cancer.
I think
he sucks, man. He's just
what?
Clearly trying to.
He does suck, but he deserves something. I don't blame
him for trying to cash in, really. But like, this is too much. Like, because this kid has been like dining out on the fact that he's the fucking penis baby from Nevermind for so long. Like, and here's the reason I know this like very well is because like I've been a huge like Nirvana head my whole life, basically. And so anytime like, magazine or whatever, like back in the day, anytime it was like, the anniversary of whatever the fuck, this kid would come out of the woodwork and get to like, he was getting paid, like, just to be like, yeah, I'm the Nirvana kid. Okay. But also, I don't think it's child pornography in any sense. I think that's absurd. And the reason he gets to like appeal this and like bring it up, even though it was dismissed without prejudice when he like first brought it to court, is because they're saying that like the trauma is like continual for him. I don't believe he's traumatized. I really don't. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe he should just get a bunch of money. Like, give him a bunch of money, but don't say that like the band are like child pornographers. I guess that's the part I find more offensive. Because literally, Kurt Cobain is named in the lawsuit, the dead man,
right?
Along with the drummer and bassist, and then Courtney Love are all the ones being sued. Like, it's not the record company being sued. I mean, this is going to come to nothing, I'm sure, but like, it's just kind of funny to me that it just keeps, like, he still keeps pushing it. Although, I mean, holy shit, can you imagine the kind of payday you could get out of something like that, I guess, but.
Right. I agree with kind of like, the premise of the idea that don't call them child pornographers or whatever. But I also think that like there should be something to give something to like memes, and the baby on the Nirvana album
so your parents,
is like
though.
one of the earliest memes.
So your parents.
Why? Because his parents don't have money.
But I'm saying, like, if anyone's responsible, his parents are the ones who signed it, like, the whole thing over.
Sure, but he can't get money out of them. They don't have
that's
money.
That's why I'm saying I think he's full of shit. I don't think he's traumatized.
He's not full of shit. Okay. He's wrong in a way where I understand what you're talking about, where it's like, don't call them pornographers, but it's like, that's like his last avenue to try to rectify a thing that I think he's trying to get the correct outcome, but unfortunately our system is set up where he has to do it in the wrong way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because like I said, I think that memes deserve some kind of compensation for their cultural relevance and all that stuff. And that's like, he is a meme.
I mean, it's not even just a meme.
And
it's like one of the most famous albums of all time. But like, I don't know. Here's
Right.
what I can't stop thinking about is like
You get my point.
many times this guy's gotten laid because of this? How many times this guy's like got invited to cool parties and shit? I guarantee it.
Can't imagine. I can't imagine a lot. I mean, maybe.
He's like, I'm the fucking Nirvana baby. Like, people probably think that's cool. Some people.
They think it's cool, but are you trying to fuck the Nirvana baby? I don't know.
I bet a lot of people are. They're like, oh man, I saw what you were working
They're like,
with,
I saw
even as
that
a baby.
I saw that baby dick. Now I want to see the big man dick, I guess. I still think that when you're that culturally relevant, you just, like in the past, we used to take care of these kind of people. Like if you were that culturally relevant, you got something. I mean, you lived like a comfortable life.
Got paid. I mean, I'm sure not much. I know what you're.
I'm gonna assume that they did not get paid enough, and they don't have money to make it worth it to how, culturally relevant he is. And like, again, like it sucks to be like, oh, they're child pornographers, but like that's the closest avenue he has to make anything of it.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's totally gonna fail. There's no fucking.
Sure.
I mean, the lawyers are only like pushing this because the lawyers want to get paid, right. And he's pushing it because he's like hope against hope, fingers crossed, maybe somehow this will slip through and some judge will be like sympathetic to me. But it's like, yeah, I mean, this article is actually really short. It doesn't really get into like how much, like if he's even asking for, he must be asking for money. Yeah, right here. Significant financial damages for unlawful conduct, which he says has caused him, quote, permanent harm. Yeah, so the appeal now is saying that harm is ongoing. Victims of child pornography. See, this is the other offensive thing about it, is that like there are real victims of child pornography, and he's not one of them. And it's kind of like belittling like the reality of that, because he listened to his fucking lawyers. The victims of child pornography may suffer a new injury upon the republication of the pornographic material. I don't know. I just don't feel that bad for him is basically what it probably comes down to for me. Like,
that's fair. And I don't feel bad for him. Like that's, I think the difference. I don't feel bad for him, and I don't blame him for like using terms that make me feel icky or whatever, because I like Nirvana and I think that they're cool because I'm a music guy like you. I'm just being a dick. But what I do come down on is that he deserves something better than what he got. But that's true about everyone, and that's why I'm like a communist and a unionist and all that stuff. Is that I believe that we are all kind of getting fucking stiffed.
It would apply to all kinds of things that like just don't, because I mean here's the other thing is, they did like a day, half a day probably of like taking photos of this kid underwater. I don't know, whatever they paid was probably not that much, because like the record company didn't think the album was going to be whatever zeitgeist changing thing that it turned out to be. But yeah, I guess you're right. Like in a fair world, like people like after the fact would be like, okay, this thing is like gigantic, so the people that are part of it should, be compensated to some like fair degree. But like, I mean, the music business is just kind of fucked up to begin with. I mean, not even like just focusing on that. The band themselves didn't even really make nearly as much money as you like imagine they did. They did, at least like at the time. I mean, now I'm sure they're quite loaded. But speaking of child pornography, man arrested after allegedly molesting manatee statue at Florida restaurant.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't like this.
There's really not much to this at all. Some guy got fucked up at a restaurant in Florida called Rick's Reefs Restaurant, RRR as I call it, on St. Pete Beach. He allegedly got angry after restaurant employees told him he had already paid his bill and it was time for him to go. I love the idea of trying to pay your bill more than once. That's getting mad about it. Once outside, he allegedly, quote unquote, molested a plastic manatee located in the restaurant's parking lot, which prompted another request from an employee that he leave. Unfortunately, this article doesn't go into more detail of what they mean by molested. It really leaves it to the imagination.
Right. It's a pretty broad term. I should say
term.
It's a pretty femme term. Yeah. And like, in the context of an inanimate object, is that really like an acceptable thing to say?
It's funny. I like the title. I like
how
the
close,
title of the article.
So you're going to be in Florida soon. How close are you going to be to this
should look
statue?
it up. You're
I feel
right.
like you should do some field reporting.
I agree.
St. Pete.
I'll figure it out.
I would say St. Pete is not that close to like Miami or anything, but I don't know you're driving, so you might drive through the whole state. I don't know where you're going.
I'm going to Fort Myers.
Don't say it on the podcast. Don't let these freaks know where you're going.
I think this is further away. Come at me, Fort Myers listeners. I mean, not come at me. Let's hang out. Let's eat some gator nuggets, which is also what the part of the story of the story is.
Hell yeah!
Officials said this guy's name is something Lessa. Anthony Lessa, 23 years old, and got, quote, physically aggressive with the employee, and that he allegedly started tossing gator nuggets, that is, deep-fried pieces of alligator meat, into the Rick's Reef dining room. I ate gator nuggets when I was in Florida once before. It's like chicken, sort of fishy chicken, which sounds gross, actually. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He got fucked up, and like he was so drunk that he kept asking like why he was being arrested like every couple of minutes because he just couldn't remember. Right. If I do go to this place to recreate the scene, I can go to the Postcard Inn Hotel, which is on the beach, which is where Lessa ran away to, acting disorderly. And can you believe he smelled of alcohol and his pupils were dilated in a bright environment?
Don't buy it. Absolutely.
His short-term memory wasn't so good. Authorities said Lessa kept asking why he was being arrested even after they told him. After asking what Lessa had in his pockets, one of the deputies realized, oh, that was the crap that he had that you were throwing in the other restaurant. Gator nuggets, Lessa replied. Shark bites. And for some reason, the cops thought it was cork in his pocket. And that's the way the article ends, is why does he have cork in his pocket?
I've got a pocket full of cork.
And my homeboys do too. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. Everyone likes that.
I guess maybe we should go out on a non-serious note like that.
I like it.
Some funny shit about Bezos, actually. No, we'll talk about that later. We'll save that for later.
Okay.
Let's generally recommend some shit. I say. I do have one in mind, like I teased.
Okay.
Should I go?
I don't think I have anything. Yeah, go for it. I don't think I have anything, honestly. I'm just still watching True Detective. Season 2 continues to kick ass.
I might spark something for you when I describe my thing.
Okay. Okay. Go for it.
I watched this movie last night that I'd been looking forward to for like a year or so since hearing about it, called Dream Scenario. I first heard about it, I think, because it was associated with Ari Aster. Probably one of my favorite like modern movie makers.
Okay, but what did Ari ask her? What did he ask her?
Why Bo is afraid. I don't know. I got nothing for that. But Ari Aster produced this movie. Also, Nicolas Cage, star of the movie, produced this movie. And it was directed, it looks like the first feature film in English by this Norwegian fella named Christopher Borgli. I don't appreciate how hard his name is to pronounce, but this movie fucking rocked. It was so good. Basically, the premise of it is that Nick Cage is like kind of a timid kind of like beta male, let's say, evolutionary biologist professor, and gradually he starts to realize that basically everyone on Earth, at least the way it was described in the initially, was like every person on Earth had dreams about this guy like simultaneously, which I was like, oh man, that's an amazing premise. But it actually works out a little like even like different than that, where like people are kind of gradually dreaming about him. But anyway, it's this weird thing where he becomes like kind of a celebrity because everyone's like seeing this kind of normal looking balding guy with glasses, you know, professorial just nerd like in their dreams, and he doesn't do anything in their dreams. He's just kind of like a bystander. Even when like fucked up shit is happening, he just kind of like walks by. Basically, it just starts to like affect his real life in like profound and weird ways, and like the dreams start shifting in weirder ways as well. And the way the dreams are portrayed in the movie is really great, and it's just very creative and funny and dark and fucked up at the same time. It's very, very kind of Charlie Kaufman-esque in some ways. It reminded me of like Adaptation, just because Nick Cage like playing kind of a timid dork, doing a really great job at that. But I don't know if I'm describing it well, but I also don't want to say too much more about it.
It sounds decent. Yeah.
It was great. It was actually better than I thought, and I thought it would be, and I like went in with like super high expectations, just like knowing like between the fact that, you know, it's like A24 movie, Ari Aster's on board, this is like a new director, Nick Cage is behind it. Nick Cage says it's the best movie he's ever made, which is saying a lot, I think. Or maybe not. I mean, he's done a lot of crap, obviously, but he's made a lot of good movies too. But I think he said it was in the top 5 like best screenplays he's ever worked on, or, you know, been a part of. And then somewhere else I saw him like just say like it was like the number 1 movie he's ever worked on. But strong recommend for Dream Scenario. It's a fun time at the movies, and I'm gonna rewatch it soon, probably. Because it's that kind of movie where I can imagine rewatching it is more rewarding than the first go around. Did I spark anything for you with that meandering description?
Kind of. There was something that I think I should plug. People should definitely check it out. Krispy Kreme, Froggy Fresh, the rapper. He did some like celebrity boxing stuff. He's definitely trying to flirt with being like Sam Hyde adjacent recently. So, you know, he's good. You know, he's got good politics if he's trying to hang out with Sam Hyde. Check out Froggy Fresh, Dunked On. Great song. It pops in my brain like once every couple weeks. I think about it because he goes, "Why is James crying? Because he just got dunked on." Check that out. It's a great song. It's definitely worth your while. It's only, the whole music video is like 5 minutes, and it's very good from beginning to end. And shout out to Froggy Fresh in general.
Nice. I'm looking it up right now. Okay, so that's the show. We have a website, heatdeathpod.com.
Is it working?
It's back up. I paid off the fee. We have a Twitter account, which I'm trying to post stuff on more. I used to just like only quote tweet shit. But anyway, check us out on there. It would be nice to have more followers than people I'm following. That's partly my fault. I'm like not discerning. I pretty much follow back anybody that follows us there, but whatever. Discord. Join our Discord. I think there was a new person since the last episode joined.
Sure, why not?
More of you, people who are already there. Post your thoughts and feelings and opinions.
Yeah. If you're in there, get in there. Get in the mix.
Things like that. And Tim, you have a dual podcasting life. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, check out the other podcasts on the We Don't Know Wrestling Podcast Network for now. It's going to be moving probably shortly to another thing, but I'll plug that when it's time. Follow me on Twitter at ROH Dutch, and that's the main thing. I'm on other social medias. You could probably figure it out if you care to, but it's not really worth your time because I barely post. And then, do cool stuff and stop being lame. If you live in like Southern California and you like riding bicycles, hit me up. We can be in a bike crew. I'm trying to do like more bicycle stuff. So hanging out with this weird like beer bicycle gang. If you like beer and you're a bicycle person, even better. And Southern California, I mean, if you're just in the area, if you like beer and bicycles, hit me up no matter what. But if you're near Southern California, it's probably even better. Either way,
Meet behind the second L of the Hollywood sign with your beer and your bike. And then you can form a Warriors-style gang together.
Yeah. I did a pretty in-depth rewatch thread about Girls. I'm doing a little much more like weak, not putting a lot of effort into it. Thread reviewing watching True Detective. It's been about 3 tweets, but and I'm into the second season, but follow that. You'll see my reviews of that. HBO shows from like 10 years ago. Either way,
did you
Josh.
get to what I was talking about last time about Colin Farrell and his kid?
No. No. I'm just about to hit the thing that people are saying is like the big thing.
Huh.
I like literally just stopped right before it. The Colin Farrell relapse. I'm just about to.
That part is one of my favorites. It tickles the inner drug addict within me as well. But it also makes it look so fun, but also so horrible at the same time. But
I'm very excited.
I'm surprised you haven't seen any of the stuff with the kid, the red-haired kid, the fat kid.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, I've seen him.
I just mean like their relationship is so funny and weird to me.
It's fucking weird. It's insane. Like I don't know what like stage direction they gave the kid. They're just like grimace as hard as possible at all times. He looks insanely uncomfortable constantly, but it kind of fits with the the entire thing. It's very it's just.
I'll just say if you haven't gotten there yet. This is not like a huge spoiler or anything, but like he seeks vengeance for his boy at one point, and it's pretty. Can't wait. It's pretty intense and funny.
Well, of course, it actually does make sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, and as I always say, sprint, don't crawl to the voting booth on March 5th, 2024, if you are a Californian resident, and make Barack Obama Mandela the next senator to represent California and Israel equally, proudly, anti-black Hitlery. Do it. All right. Bye.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?